Joining me right now is former foreign policy advisor, former State Department official for President George W. Bush, Paul Bonicelli. Paul, good to see you this morning. Your reaction to what's taken place in Saudi Arabia?
Well, tremendous disappointment that the Crown Prince doesn't seem ready for prime time. There's no aspect of this that sounds like he is in. He's doing a very good job. Whatever was planned, clearly it went wrong, because it's far worse to think that the Crown Prince thought it made sense to go get this guy and to kill him. I'm not sure why Mr. Khashoggi thought it was a good idea to go into the Saudi consulate myself, unless he was just very much needing to go in there for the marriage that he wanted to have. But this is a real disappointment for people who were looking for the Crown Prince to be wise, to be measured, to be careful, to not be like the typical 30-year-old that's full of himself and thinks that he can do everything. And the United States has to clean up this mess. I think the president is speaking in a way that shows we think that this was a mistake, that the intentions may not have been there to kill him, but certainly it was a mistake. And now we have to clean it up. Meanwhile, our enemies are enjoying themselves, and Turkey gets an easy way to get back in good graces with us, which is kind of unfortunate.
Well, it just feels like it flies right in the face of this expectation that this was the guy to modernize Saudi Arabia. This was the guy to create some stability in an environment where Iran is terrorizing everybody. And now you have to question that modernization.
Exactly. You have all these CEOs and others that it's obviously they're not going to show him the same kind of favor that they did. He can get past it, but it's a real hiccup. And I want to say this, too. If it turns out, I don't think of Khashoggi as a journalist. It's kind of tiring to hear.
He's an activist, right?
Exactly. And he could be more than that. He's a former spy.
Right? I mean, it doesn't matter what he is. We're talking about human rights. And I guess the question becomes, do you do business with a killer? Right. I mean, we do business with people across the world who we don't agree with the way that they govern, right, Dagan? But at the same time, we got an important arms sales that's being planned. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't mean to be callous and not worry about human rights. I do. But
no, I understand.
State relations, geopolitics are important here. And this was not just a crime. This was not just immoral. It was stupid. And you can't operate as head of a state if you don't know how to avoid doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the Paul, viewers I just want to point out, the viewers at home, when they hear this story, they think one thing. 15 of the 19 hijackers on 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia. So we haven't really come that far, have we? In terms of, again, people understand the importance of the relationship with Saudi Arabia, given the rising power of Iran and Iran's relationships with nations like Russia and its presence, manipulation with Hezbollah in Syria, even with the rebels in Yemen. Nevertheless, it's a reminder that you cannot trust Saudi Arabia.
Well, you can't rely on them. You can certainly try to find a way to work, but you can't rely on them because they're not ready for prime time in many ways, no matter what the good intentions are. And we must not forget, as Dagan points out, the enemy above all is Iran. There is no question that is the case.
Right. Well, that's what I mentioned.
Can you size up the geopolitics here? It seems like the United States is in the strong position and the Saudis are in the weak position. They have double-digit unemployment. We have a fracking boom. How much do we depend on them in this environment? You know, I guess as an enemy of Iran, they're an ally there. They could go to the Chinese or the Russians for arms. But how important are they to the United States, and how does that compare to their importance a decade, 2 decades ago?
Yeah, it's a good question, especially with this op-ed in the Washington Post today that says, the title is, "Who Needs Saudi Arabia?"
Right. They need us a whole lot more than we need them, and they always have, and that's not going to change for a long time. Larry Kudlow let the cat out of the bag, 3 days ago when he said, you know, we're not worried about threats about oil. We're really good on energy. Don't worry. This literally is the president trying to help the Crown Prince and the King fix a mess that they created, and I don't know how tolerant he will be of future messes. I mean, look how quick the Saudis climbed down from their beginning of it was an absurd story, and now they're going to say something that everybody knows is a story to try to get past it.
So that's not a shocking news alert, though, from Larry Kudlow. Anybody who follows oil even remotely knows this year the United States will likely, according to the Energy Information Administration, likely be the #1 producer of oil in the world.
Yep.
Bigger than Saudi Arabia and bigger than Russia.
But at the same time, markets do move on the sanctions news, right? So oil prices closed higher on Monday amid these mounting Saudi tensions. When we do see sanctions go into effect against Iran, other oil producers, sometimes oil prices move. Do you think we should be worried about any movement to the price of oil given this upset?
Well, I'm always worried about people who trade in commodities because they don't seem to have reason on their side when they make their decisions. But that's just a guy with a 401k that doesn't want to see it suffer. My guess is this will calm down fairly quickly and not keep affecting oil prices just because the president, his team, the Saudis, everybody wants it to get fixed and move past it. And this is not the first time this has happened in international politics.
I recognize, Dagan, that we're going to be the #1 oil producer this year. But you have to wonder, why is oil at 71? Right? Yeah. If there was all of this expectation that there was all this supply in the global market, largely coming from the U.S. among other places, wouldn't oil be plummeting?
Not plummeting, but it would be, it would be, but it's
50,
still at
40?
70. Yeah, it's just, I would say it's just at 71.
Right. Well,
it would be a lot.
Exactly.
It would be a lot higher if not for our power in the oil industry. And I'll point out that our strategic petroleum reserve is full. I think there are about 650 million barrels of oil in it. Watch President Trump release some oil. If these prices get any higher, he will release oil from it.
Right.
20 years ago, I think if there was a confrontation between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, we'd see oil prices a lot higher than they are today.
Different story. Yeah, for sure. Paul, good to get your insights. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Paul Bonicelli there.